Hello and welcome.
Welcome.
Broncos Booze Up. Week 18, everybody.
Week 18. We only it's 2 weeks.
Got my ass in the jackpot, baby. Welcome, everybody. We've made it. It's the end of the regular season. And what a season it's been. It's quite amazing, Captain. Did you really think in week one, when we started this, that we would be talking about possibly the Broncos getting the number one seed and a first-round bye?
No, not the number one seed. I figured we'd make another playoff appearance by mid-season. When we had Colin on the show, I did another. Hey, just remember, I'm 1-0 in predicting Super Bowls mid-season now.
Okay.
So I have a 100% ratio of being accurate, and I feel we're on a precipice of 2-0. Las Vegas, I'm your boy.
Well, excellent. And can't wait to see you there. When we were there last year, that we watched, we finally got to go see the Broncos play in Vegas. And after going out there for the wild card weekend for several years, and we were all very stoked. It did not end up well. They got smoked. But I remember going, okay, next year they're going to be firmly entrenched in the playoffs, and we're going to get to watch them win a game in Vegas. And of course, those motherfuckers just happened to be too good, and now we're not going to get to see them play. We're going to get into that in a little bit. I did want to say that I'm drinking some more seasonal beers. This one's called Slay Queen. I drank this one already. I just want to save it so you could see it. It's actually made by Crooked Stave, which is a Denver beer, and they make really good beers. And this one's like a festive kind of malty, kind of nutmeggy beer. It's good. It's good stuff.
That's probably the best name for a beer seasonally that I've ever heard of.
It's fantastic. It's so good. So we're having that a little bit later. We're gonna be doing some hot sauce shots against our better judgment. I think the captain's probably got some ones that are hotter than mine, but we're gonna do them, and as we're gonna each do one, and we'll see the reaction. Mine, we're gonna go milder to hotter, and we'll see how it goes. After a couple beers, it might go horribly wrong. So hopefully that is the case. So we missed, because of Christmas, we missed a show in there. And thank God, because the Broncos got beat by the Jaguars. Then we didn't have to commiserate about that, which is fantastic. But that was hold on, I can't my glasses. Oh, by the way, if you're just discovering this show, and if you're coming over from X the Everything app, we got you covered. So this is for you X the Everything app people. I know you love Nazism because you're still there on X the Everything app. So just know that we got you covered.
Our show will be canceled after the first season, which is great.
We'll be trotting that out again. So so the Broncos lost 34-20 in that game, as all of you know, and a stinker was bound to happen. And I just want to get this one out of the way, because we got the Chiefs game to get to too. But an inevitable stinker happened, and it definitely was a stinker. They just couldn't get it together. I think they hit a team that was hotter than they were, and they were rolling, and they just couldn't quite compete with them.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was ugly. No two ways about it. I mean, the Broncos kind of kept up with them first couple go rounds, and then after that, it was ugly. The tackling was just piss poor that game. And like you said, hopefully they learned a lesson from it. And I think it paid off against the Queefs, but we'll talk about that here in a bit.
Well, kind of, but the defense did look out of sorts, and even so much so that, like, in the Denver Post, the headline was, "Is it time to panic about the Broncos defense?" And I was like, "Come on, guy!" I go, "Come on!" I go, "That's not time." Bad game's gonna happen. They had won fucking 10, 12 straight.
Yeah,
and I was like, you couldn't expect them to win them all. And I know people go, "Oh, you got to expect greatness." No. You couldn't expect them to win them all. They hit a hot team. Just wait. If they see the Jaguars again, it's going to be a bloodbath. So I'm not too worried about that one. So,
no, that's what the sports writers looked forward to. I mean, they were downplaying this team the entire season. They didn't like it. And they finally got their teeth to be able to sink into something, but I think that something is nothing.
Yes, they always want to have like that. They're waiting for the downfall, right? So they can so then they can have something to talk about and go, oh, I told you so. I told you so. I don't know, man. If you're saying I told you so, I mean you weren't really paying attention. I just think that they were due one and it happened. So unfortunately that was the week that I think the Patriots lost too, right? So it wasn't a big deal. So so no worries. So then fast forward to last week and right after Christmas, the Denver KC game. Denver won 20-13. Not the greatest showing against a third string quarterback and a demoralized Chiefs squad. But how'd you feel about that one?
I agree. I think when you watch the game, it was not as exciting as everybody wanted it to be with their third string quarterback. I'm not even going to pretend to be able to say Okudobi, whatever his last name is. But he held his own, right?
Yeah, he's fine.
But it was a slugfest and it didn't look that exciting. But when you look at the stats, I think there's a different game that they were playing against the Chiefs and they ended up winning. And in the stats game, they dominated them. But that's not exciting for people to watch. And so thus everybody thought it was a ho-hum game.
Well, no, we all wanted a bloodbath. We wanted to like step on their throats, cut their heads off, and throw them down the steps, and watch all the and like the end of Conan the Barbarian when you throw the head down the stairs and all the fanatics filter away. That's what I was hoping for. All the Chiefs fans would like leave the stadium. I think they did ultimately, but
well, did you see the amount of Broncos fans that were in that stadium? I mean,
it's crazy.
I mean, even Sean Payton said at the end with that RJ Harvey touchdown, he couldn't see it. And he's like, I didn't know if that was for us or for the Chiefs. And that's concerning at Arrowhead.
That's really concerning because I think we talked about this. I think it's easier for people to travel now than it was, 30 years ago. Yeah. So somebody's like, hey, let's go to Kansas City for the game. And it's like, not a problem, right? I mean, hell, you could drive there from Denver and it might take you, 10 hours, but you can get there, fly there, probably pretty cheap. And so people are able to do that. That's the only explanation I have, because I can't imagine that many Broncos fans live in Kansas City, right?
Yeah, no. And then at the very end of the game, when they had Garrett Bowles and Patrick Surtain on, I mean, the entire background was all Broncos fans. It was nuts.
Well, that usually at the end of the game, everyone will filter down, and get close. But it was a lot closer than I thought it should be. I think the Chiefs were the defense anyway was at least playing with a little bit of pride because they have nothing else to play for, and they had nothing left. The offense couldn't really do anything. So but hey, the best part, Travis Kelce, see you later, you big dummy. Fuck you, loser. You're fucking out of here, dude. And
you think he's done?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure done. He's already using like he's saying things in like not like past tense, but he's saying things like the Chiefs. Like he's not a part of it. Like he's saying things like that. Like if the Chiefs want to do that, they should, like that. And so he's already kind of distanced himself from it in that way. And I think he is, because granted, I'm sure he could play another season, but does he really want to? Because he's taken some licks, man. And I was hoping someone would lay him out this game, but they didn't exactly. And I was going to say what they did was they set him up to score that last touchdown. Because they're going to score that touchdown, and they were going to go for two, because fuck it, why not? If they could stick one to the Broncos, they would have. And it was so funny because they just start hitting him, right? And I was like, can Vance Joseph pull his head out of his ass for 2 seconds to realize this is this guy's last time on the field in Kansas City? They're going to throw him the ball. All you got to do is bracket that guy. Just bracket him and take him out. Let the other guys take care of it who aren't very good. That guy's still good. He can still catch the ball and do something with it. So Vance, what are you doing? So of course they marched down the field with Travis, and then they stopped him. But that's what they were trying to do. But still, big douche, adios. We'll see you down the road.
Summer's Eve you later.
Yeah, summer's eve you later. Have fun with your pop star wife at your big dumb wedding that you're going to have, and it's good that you're gone now. So yeah, he's definitely gone. I mean, I would assume so. I mean, do you think there's anything indicative that he's not?
I think if Patrick Mahomes hadn't torn his ACL and TCL and CNN or whatever, and he was probably going to come back at the beginning of the season, he may stay. But I mean, it just seems like the Chiefs are on a downhill glide. It's not like when John Elway won 2 Super Bowls back to back, and you're like, go for a third. He's like, my body just can't do it anymore. I'd rather go out on top. Kelsey's going out with like, okay, I got, a substantial amount of Super Bowl wins, but I better leave now before it gets worse. At least that's the way I look at it.
It's going to get worse. A year later, like he looked all right in moments, but he wasn't the dominant machine that he has been in the past. So good riddance, you big dummy. I think we'll all be better off without you. He's just a fucking dumb guy who's also an arrogant guy, and that's a bad combination. We don't want that.
I did appreciate him wishing Bo Nix good luck and telling him to go get his at the end.
Did he?
Yeah. And at the end of the game, him and Bo Nix hugged it out, and he's like, "Go get yours." And I thought that was nice. He didn't have to do that. The Broncos and the Chiefs hated each other. But to your point, like, not only is he leaving, but we swept the fucking Chiefs. I mean, we haven't done that, and we haven't won in KC in God knows how long. I don't remember the year.
It's been a long time. I gave you the metal horns that, and I just read something where they said that video podcasts are no good in the audio because people are making expressions or giving metal horns like I just did, and no one can tell in the audio. So when you said you swept the Chiefs, I'm flashing devil horns to you like hell yes. And no one knows that because they can't see it. So
they're going to have to come back for season 2 and the production value is going to go skyrocketing.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We just need like an alt text, like John just flashed devil horns to the captain.
I'll work on the accessibility options for the blind.
That's right. That's right. So, screw Travis Kelce. Good riddance. Go have fun. Once your wife has to spend like fucking a couple hours with you, uninterrupted, she's going to get really bored of that dummy. And so
he's going to all the shows.
Unless she's a big dummy, she could be a big dummy too. Who knows?
Well, her and Brittany Mahomes are friends, so I don't know what that says.
Yeah, that should tell you a lot right there. So the other thing, and we were talking about the Broncos. The Denver Post just put a thing out and it said Sean Payton, coach of the year, and then I was like, oh no, that's a big no for me, dog, because no, I don't think he's coach of the year.
Really?
And a lot of people pointed out, they said, hey, he's done a lot in 2 years with this team and everything like that, and I will agree with that, but
you got to remember he's coming in on a hamstring, right? Like he had Russell Wilson the first year. And then the second year he gets a rookie in Bo Nix. They make the playoffs. He's still got a $70 million cap hit. He's got a bunch of rookies, and they're going, potentially going to be the number 1 seed at 14-3. I mean, that's a hell of a fucking climb. I mean, that reminds me of the Mike Shanahan coming in after, the debacle that we had with Dan Reeves and the trajectory that they took back then. So I don't know. I know you don't care for his play style, but I got to say, the locker room loves him. They're doing great things on the field. I mean, how can I say a bad thing about the guy other than please stop doing screen passes and play some more aggressive plays, please?
I will agree that he's brought the team along, but I will always say that I think there's moments where they're overcoming what he's doing out there, and yeah. And I think I just don't know. If you look, we've talked about Pete Carroll in the past. If you look at Pete Carroll, obviously it's passed him by. Shouldn't be out there. I said it's elder abuse that Mark Davis has kept him employed and not fired him. And it's also elder abuse that Pete Carroll's kept Geno out there. Poor Geno keeps getting hurt. He's an old man. Leave him alone. Leave poor Gino alone, for Christ's sakes. And so he's not as bad as Pete Carroll. I don't think it's passed him by like that. But there are certain things that alarm me. And we're going to see. Hey, I could be totally wrong. And in a couple, in like another month, another month or so, we could be talking about your Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos and how Colin's got to drink your pee. So
no, he's not drinking my pee.
Yeah, he should be anyway. So, but anyway, I just wanted to say, like, even though I don't think he's coach of the year, and I have plenty of criticisms about him, he did say that his understanding of the AFC West champions hat and T-shirts were very ugly. Did you hear?
Oh, they were terrible.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see them, but he said, I understand they're very ugly. And I was like, thank you, Sean. Thank you. No one should be buying that shit. No one should be investing any money in that. We should. Yeah. No one can see that, Captain. No one can see that you just went, this guy with the
I
phone.
had to, like I said, it was for the collection, but I will say I was extremely disappointed when I went on the NFL shop. And it's like, hey, 40% off your order. I'm like, this is great. They won. They get the AFC West. They get 40% off. They're like, not this one. And then you look at the options of hats, and they had 2 of them. And I'm like, first of all, these Scream Raider colors, and the one that I tweeted out or skeeted out or whatever the hell you call it now. It's just not exciting. It doesn't scream Denver Broncos. And I think that's what's so disappointing about it.
I guess I didn't see it, but
I would ignore my skeets.
I'll check out I just call them posts. It's just fine to say posts.
It's not as sexy.
Yeah, but we're trying to recreate a cool thing like tweets, which became a verb that was used all over the world. Think about it. Your company has a function that becomes a verb that's used all around the world. Everybody knows it.
Tweets. Yeah.
Everyone knows it. Even something you do on Facebook, they go, oh, well, he tweeted this. And then what do? You turn around and you fucking bury all that. And you call it X. I'm going to call it X. And now
the problem is nobody. I just can't get over. Not that I want to make this show about Twitter like we do every week, but it's like, God damn it. How are people still there? Because they're so held on to the clout of numbers that they stay there. And the good people.
Oh, sorry. I'm holding up a swastika for the people from.
No, not a swastika. It is a historical reference to the Third Reich. Don't get us canceled, John.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, but again, my point is it's owned by somebody who is, I will say, interesting. And is for various reasons.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. I just can't get behind it, even though I've kind of come back and I occasionally check in. But the people that I want to follow, I wish would come over to Blue Sky, and they don't. And even the Denver Bronco reporters kind of just dip their toe in the Blue Sky. And they stick in the shithole. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, I did. There's a fantasy hockey account that I follow, and one of the guys who does a podcast for this network, real good, real interesting guys, funny, and listened to his show. And I followed him on Twitter because he gave a lot of good gambling tips for hockey. I said to the dude that runs the other one that he works for, I said, hey, try to get so-and-so on here. And he goes, oh, I'll let him know. And then, I haven't seen him, of course. So, yeah. But it's a lost cause. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And,
10 years from now, it'll be great. And I'll be dead.
Yeah. That's going to be long past my prime, I think. So, I did want to say that, I was reminded of this, that I've always hoped for a Super Bowl revenge tour. And I want the Broncos to embark on a Super Bowl revenge tour. And there was a couple of years ago when I think one of the last times they went to the Super Bowl, there was a possibility of a couple of these teams. And I'm talking this year, the only 2 viable ones that they can give payback to are the 49ers and the Seahawks. That's still a possibility, a very good possibility.
Yeah.
I want them to exact revenge for the humiliating defeats that they suffered, back in 2013, and then probably what was that 1989? I think the 49ers was. The other ones: Giants, Cowboys, Commandos.
They were the Redskins, and I was at that game.
Redskins.
I will never forgive that game. I got beer thrown at me, and I was in seventh
That's
grade.
right. You told me. I remember that story. You got beer thrown at you.
Fuckers.
Yeah. So those three teams are also on the revenge tour, but we're gonna have to wait a while for those. So would you like a revenge tour? Would you like the Broncos to see one of these teams in the Super Bowl?
God, absolutely. I know we'll talk about it later, but especially I watched the John Elway documentary on Netflix last night, and you watch that. And, you and I are of the age where you live the entire John Elway legacy, and you watch those games. And I remember every single place I was when those games took place and what it felt like. And it was, I got to say, it was emotional in some cases because you're like, shit, this brings back some heartbreaking memories. And then it crescendos, it's very well done, but we'll talk about it later.
We can talk about it. We can talk about it now.
Before we do, though, I just want to bring up one point about the KC game that bothered me, and I think it's a stat that people blame Bo Nix for not having more downfield passes, but I talked to the AI today, John, because I get bored. Not a lot of people like talking to me, so were
you depressed? Was it telling you to harm yourself?
It wasn't telling me to harm myself because I wasn't using ChatGPT. I find Google's Gemini to be a little bit better. But, when you watch the KC game, and I saw this even in the Jaguars game, and I'm sure many other people who hopefully listen to this show have seen it too, there are so many drop passes happening on the Broncos wide receivers end. Yeah. And I had it do a little statistical analysis. We're number 2 in the NFL for most drop passes. 42.
Who's number 1?
I didn't look at number 1. I could care less about number 1. But I'm sorry, the Jaguars have more. Jaguars 45, wow. We have 42. But you know who the biggest defender is?
Who?
Cortland Sutton.
Oh, okay.
And he's our downfield guy, and so when you look at some of those passes, and I saw them in KC, he's dropped them. Evan Ingram, who's supposed to be your tight end, who's supposed to pick up those key downs, 8. RJ Harvey, 6. He's getting picked a lot, though. He's a good catcher. I think he's highest on the receiving and rushing yard. And Troy Franklin, 4. It's just, I think people got to let Bo Nix, they got to ease off him a little bit, because I think the receivers own some of this. I think that the stat I saw overall was 502 yards of lost yardage due to drop passes. That's insane.
I've seen a lot of drop passes, and I think you're right. I've always been on Bo's side. I've always been like, if he was shaky, I was like, I still see it. And I think you're right. When he's not having a good game, you can generally look to that to be a bit of a cause. I think he certainly makes his mistakes, but yeah, Cortland Sutton dropped a couple pretty good ones. I think in the last game. So
in key moments too, and I think that's the hard part, right? Because if he catches those like he's done, and I'm not picking on the guy. He's way better than I'd ever be at a wide receiver role. But and he knows what he needs to fix. But I just think, looking at that ratio and looking what the team has done to still win successfully, even though they're winning by 1 point and all the rigmarole that the media likes to talk about, I don't think they talk about some of these contributing factors because they're just looking at headlines. And I think this team is much better than what people are giving us credit for going into this playoff scenario. PFF actually has the Broncos at the highest percentage to win the Super Bowl at 13% right now.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
That's pretty amazing. I think, and I want to talk about my fantasy wins here soon. But it always seems like, and I know this is probably different, but for professional football, for real football, people are actually playing it. But it seems like if you steamroll through everyone, you have a tendency to fall flat when it matters. And they've done nothing.
Seahawks Super Bowl year?
What's that?
The Seahawks Super Bowl year?
Exactly. And if you go through the fire and you have to constantly battle and go like, oh God, we got to come back and win this game, I think it prepares you for adversity. Whereas in that year, they kind of cruised and tore through everybody, and then all of a sudden they were like, I don't know, they're fucking hanging out, partying at the steakhouse the night before, and not ready for the game. So yes, I would prefer almost that. And it's been a roller coaster. It's been horrible. We've sat here and nothing but complained. I just sit there online just complaining, to the point where people are probably like sick of me complaining about it. But that's what we do, and it feels good to be able to complain about the Broncos again in a context of winning. So I would prefer that they're these tight games, that they're barely pulling it out, because if they do smoke somebody, then it's an afterthought. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if it's down, it's close. We're like, hey, they got this. They can climb back in it. So
what do the kids say? They get grimy.
They get grimy.
They get grimy, but I like gritty, right? Like they find a way to win, and it's, if somebody fucks up, next man up picks it up, and they've all done it for themselves, and I appreciate that. And at least that's the feeling in the locker room from what I've read and heard.
Before we talk about me, which I know I never do on this, I want to say I wanted to talk about Elway, and you can tell me, I haven't seen it yet. I've been planning to watch it. I just haven't had time yet. But you're talking about, I knew where I was at this time, and I knew where I was. I've probably talked about this before. The 49ers Broncos Super Bowl in 89. I think it was 89.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was 90. I can't remember exactly. Grok, can you tell me what the Super Bowl is? The Super Bowl with the Broncos, whatever. Oh, Grok's not available. So and I've told you the story before. That's what that's what kind of galvanized my Broncos love, because I was with our friend Snyder, and he was a huge Broncos fan, and I was very happy for him, and I was into it with him. And we got ready for the Super Bowl, and we took his recliner down to the room. Everyone was watching it, and we sat down, got all our stuff, and the Broncos just get fucking shit canned. And I just was like, this is terrible. And it didn't turn me off. It made me a fan. I was like, no, I'm into this now. And Snyder was distraught, but you know what? He was used to it. So it really changed me. It made me a fan. So when you said that, like, I know you knew where you were. I knew where I was. I know exactly where I was when that Super Bowl happened. But tell me about it. What's your impressions of this documentary?
It's really fascinating. They bring in previous players. I'm not going to give away the entire plot line. I will say they brought in Adam Schefter, who I absolutely cannot stand for reasons I already talked about on the show, which I thought was an interesting choice, specifically since he ruined the Broncos O-line from not being able to talk during the Redskins Super Bowl. I've always hated him for that.
He does know the team, and he was around it for a long time.
Oh yeah. And Carrie's like, well, why don't you like him? And I said, well, there's one particular reason. But he's built his brand on breaking news, and he forced his hand there, and fine, he is, and he's made a career off of it. Good for him. But
he also caused 9/11. So the woman he's married to now would have lost her husband so he could marry her. Did you know that too?
I have not heard this story. Please, no, I need to hear this part.
Well, he married a 9/11 widow, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his current wife, her husband had died in 9/11, like worked in the World Trade Center or something. So it's kind of a theory that he facilitated Osama bin Laden and got the towers brought down so he could marry this woman. It's a long con by him. It was a long con, and it paid off.
If this show ever becomes popular, somebody's going to dig this up out of the archive, and then it's over. The money train's going to stop coming in. Sponsors are going to quit. We're going to get all the sponsors, John. I can feel it.
The beauty of this is we'll never have to worry about it.
It's very true. There's a sponsorship link if you're listening to the show on the website, broncosboozeup.com. Hit us up. Products, beer, things like that. We're always interested.
Absolutely. Sorry. Anyway, that's just something I heard. It could be true. It could not. I don't know.
Yeah. If there were like maybe 3 or 4 takeaways I could take away from the documentary. One, it was interesting. Omaha Productions put it together. So you know the quality is going to be good. I thought it was interesting just because I can't believe I had forgotten this, but John Elway and his father had such a close relationship with him growing up. And, he was really his coach and mentor. And I'll bring this up for a reason later. But, when he got drafted, most people probably of younger age don't remember that John Elway was actually drafted by the Baltimore Colts. And they came out
and the Yankees.
Yeah, well, and that was the interesting part.
Yes.
I never knew why he was going to go to the Yankees, but it was because Baltimore drafted him.
Correct.
And John Elway and his dad came out in a presser. And I will say one of the best things about this documentary is that they have restored a lot of this older footage, and it's phenomenal to see. It's not in 16:9; it's still 4:3, but they've obviously.
Is it like AI and everyone's got like 6 fingers?
No, it's not. It's a funny joke, but actually they did such a good job. It's not AI, but I will say this: if you know anything about compression, fuck Netflix. Netflix's compression is so bad. There are times when the ball's spinning in the air and you could see the little squares going around the ball. It's a put off. But anyways, so Baltimore drafts him, and then his dad and John essentially say, and I had forgotten this. Now, Jim Irsay's dad, remember, owned the team prior to, and sure. I guess he was a big drunkard, just like his son ended up becoming. And so I guess Jim had a tendency.
Wait, we're not slandering anybody on this show now.
Oh, I'm going to slander them. I can slander them all I like, sir. He's dead. Both of them. So anyways, so I guess Jim Irsay's dad would get fucking faded. They even say this on the show. I'm paraphrasing. He'd get faded and fuck this. And he'd take the head coach's headset and he'd put him on and he'd start calling plays and shit. And you're like, man, that was a different era of football. So John Elway decides, I'm not going to go play for the Colts. Go fuck these guys. I'm going to go enter the draft. And he's going to go to New York. And then all of a sudden, they end up getting a call and saying the Broncos want him. Dan Reeves wants him, which is interesting since they hate each other so much nowadays. But so he decides to go to Denver. And one of the things I thought was funny about this, the first game that he plays as a rookie, where is he playing? Baltimore. Yeah. And what was crazy was, look, they got fucking trounced, right? And they were just beating the shit out of him. And, John Elway was the highest paid player back then. Do you know how much his contract was?
Ooh, I would say it was probably only fucking 10 million.
Half that.
5.
He got 5. And let me tell you, the interviews they did, Terry Bradshaw fucking hated John Elway.
Oh, yeah.
So it's interesting because towards the end, I'll talk about it, but they fucking hated that guy. Every player hated him because he was getting paid. The golden boy from Colorado or California, Stanford and all this shit. So anyways, the scene in Baltimore, they panned to the crowd. The crowd in the NFL back then was way different than it is today.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, there's a scene there. The fans had an igloo cooler, not like a little one. They literally had a huge igloo cooler full of, what was the fuck in that? And they were yelling at him and calling him all kinds of shit. And it wasn't as bad. And I want to talk about the DK Metcalf fan interview in a little bit. But it was fascinating to me. But anyways, you watch the progression. We've all watched the games, but there's this point in the show where the Broncos are not doing well. The Dan Reeves, John Elway rift starts occurring, and John starts talking about the impact of fans and everybody talking shit and getting in his face, and the rest of it starts having an impact where he's got to have cops come around his house more frequently. And I was like, damn, that was a thing back in the day. I thought that was just a product of today's society, but they were still doing it back then. But again, you just kind of fast forward, and then you get to this, this crescendo of he gets to all these Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls. They get trounced in all of them. And then they get to, San Diego in 98 and they finally win one. And what a great, win it was for them. And, I won't ruin the rest of it. But one thing people, I think, fail to remember about John Elway is not only did he win back-to-back Super Bowls, but he is the only person in the world who's won a Super Bowl as a player, as a quarterback, and also as a general manager.
Absolutely.
I mean, it just shows you the prowess that this guy had, coming in. And when you watch this, and the reason I bring up the coaching of his dad and where I just start drawing parallels, and again, I've said this all along, the NFL likes a story. Why are you releasing this John Elway documentary right before the fucking playoffs? But you see John Elway and his dad. Who else has a close relationship with his dad while he was growing up and learning how to play quarterback? Bo Nix.
Bo Nix?
Bo Nix and his dad, same thing. His dad coached him through most of his career and was kind of a deciding factor from him going from Auburn to Oregon. Then you start looking at John Elway's play style. John Elway's play style is very similar to Bo Nix, if you remember. Like, he was a thrower. He had a gun. Now, that's one thing Bo doesn't have, but he was a scrambler, and he'd run a lot, and that was a hard thing for defenses to take care of. Bo does the same thing. If you look at the stats, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the connection that John Elway has with Denver at all, but the first 2 seasons of a quarterback, Bo Nix is outperforming John Elway by a long shot. And if this is only his second season, I think we got a good future. And to your point about Sean Payton, that was what really kept John Elway from progressing, was this conservative play style that Dan Reeves had, right? And you really didn't get to see that John Elway become John Elway in his greatness until they started getting the support of a run game with Terrell Davis. And so I could draw a lot of parallels, and you can kind of see them. And maybe I'm reading a lot into it, but it's definitely worth a watch.
But I think, well, first of all, you said, I don't want to spoil the ending. And I think we know how it ended.
Actually, no, there's some more there towards the end where
when he killed his friend on the golf cart.
Well, they did memorialize that at the end of the thing. But
you're saying, so John Elway, infinitely more talented than Bo Nix. We can't argue that, right? Like,
I would say, if you're looking at a career, you can't tell what Bo Nix's career is going to be.
But I'm just saying, raw talent, John Elway blows Bo Nix away. We can't argue that. There's no argument there.
I would say that man had a rifle.
But your point about the coaching is probably valid, because they kind of, Elway just it. What I'm saying is, if Elway was a quarterback right now and he got Sean Payton or the guy from the Rams or one of these other guys that's a pretty inventive coach, I think he'd be John Elway a lot quicker than it took him to become John Elway. Don't you think?
Oh, totally. And I think you can take that away from – I think we all felt that during the Dan Reeves era. Dan Reeves was a traditional quarterback coach. He was a defensive quarterback coach. He didn't do a lot of aggressive play calling. And that is really what tore Dan Reeves and John Elway apart. So much so, there's this great scene in there where it got out in the papers that John Elway was unhappy. Dan Reeves calls in Mike Shanahan, throws the paper at Shanahan's like, what the fuck is this? How come I didn't hear about it? And so Mike Shanahan goes, hold on a minute. And he gets John Elway, brings him up to Dan Reeves' office. And he goes, okay, Dan, I want you to tell John why you fucking hate him. And John, you get 15 minutes to tell him why you hate him and then air it out. And so Mike Shanahan, in this interview that took place now, he's like, I thought it was a very productive conversation. Then it cuts to Mike Shanahan fired, right?
I love Mike Shanahan. I don't know if you saw my picture of me holding the Lombardi Trophy at Shanahan's recently.
No, I missed that.
Oh, okay. I should have sent it to you. If you go to Shanahan's, the restaurant in Denver, South Denver, it's DTC. If you go spend a ton on a very fine meal there and you walk out, you could say, may I hold that trophy, please? And they will give you a Lombardi Trophy.
Get the fuck out. How have I not done this yet?
I don't know why you haven't done it, but surprisingly, much heavier than it looks. I was very shocked. Like you can see, Elway lifting it up when he won it. And I'm like, I got a bad arm from my surgery that I'm still rehabbing from, and I kind of held it with two. Like I was like, oh god, I was like, Jesus, and so it's heavy, man, but it's cool. I'll send you the picture. I got.
Please do. I'm just that now. It makes me even more concerned that Gronk and Tom Brady broke one.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
Dude, it's heavy as hell. Like, I don't know how they could have. I mean, it's probably a replica. Well, I don't know. They make a new one each time. I don't know what they do.
I don't know, because John Elway has some in his house, so I got to imagine it's kind of like.
But it's got to be the same. It's heavy as hell. But no, I plan to watch that. It'd be good. It'll be fascinating. It's anything Elway related that doesn't involve. Now, I was gonna say we say, oh, Elway's a drunk. He's a fucking, he's like a MAGA guy. He fucking sucks. Whatever. I know that his experience with how everyone hated him and how people treated him here in Colorado, because people either loved him or they fucking hated him. Like, most of the media hated him, and they just fucking they just badgered him. So I can see why he became a dick. I mean, I think he was like, probably, like you said, he was a golden boy, and he was probably like, I'm so special. And then he came to the NFL, and people were like, fuck you, asshole. And then that probably made him even more of a dick.
He addresses that in the documentary, actually, where he said, look, I just wanted to play football, and I just, tried to tune that other stuff out. And at that point, when the Dan Reeves relationship starts, wavering, that's when he was like, I'm done with this. I'm done trying to be the middle guy in all of this. And, well, people can only take too much.
He did drunkenly knock over my friend Jeff Morton when he was a child. So we've gone over this story, right? We talked about this at one point, I think.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So if go back, I don't know which episode it was, but we told the story how Elway drunkenly knocked over Jeff Morton, Nuggets reporter, as a child. Very tragic. Jeff still, appreciates Elway's abilities. I don't think he likes him as much as a person, but I can understand that. So let's keep going. I want to talk real quick, and then we got to get into the hot sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to talk. It's almost New Year's Eve, so I want to talk about a little New Year's Eve stuff. But I did want to say I did want to talk about fantasy football real quick. And when you're in like 7-8 leagues, you're bound to win a couple. And I won 2. So
get out.
I won 2 leagues. One was our friend Marcelo, who's in the South Stands League. He has a league, and I won that one. I've won that before. I think it's the second time I won it. But more importantly, I won the Legal Weed Melvin Memorial Cup, which very near and dear to my heart, because I love my dearly departed boy, Legal Weed Melvin. And I won it the very first year. It's an auction league, so you do an auction draft to start it, and then it's a regular league after that. I won it the very first year back in 2017. 8 years later, I'm the champion again. And so very, very honored to be able to, win for Legal Weed Melvin.
John, you see how the stars are aligning? You're winning 2 games. It's just, I feel greatness upon us.
I see that. Yes, I see that. I bring up the fantasy leagues because I had asked you earlier about the podcast version of this.
Yes.
Because in a league I have that I've had for 21 years, okay, some luminaries that you would know are in it. A lot of people that you don't know, people I've known forever, I went to college with. This year was a brand new winner, and it's this old friend of mine named Vince. And Vince texted me tonight, and I haven't talked to Vince in a long time, but he's still been in the league this whole time. And what the first thing he said was, hey, do you still have that horse's ass trophy? And I said yes. And okay, for you not watching the video, Captain's holding up the horse's ass trophy. It's the Captain Bronco bringing up the rear trophy is what it's called now. So I had to explain to him that I've repurposed it for someone who was not the most accomplished at fantasy. That's the nice way to put it.
So true.
But I renamed it the Captain Bronco bringing up the rear trophy, and gave it to you in Vegas one time. And I said, no, there's a whole different trophy now that you've won. And so I told him, let me get it back from Snyder, who won it last time. I'll put your name on it and everything. So I wanted to give a shout out to Vince. And the reason I want to give a shout out to Vince is because he then said, oh, I really miss the South Stands fan cast. And I said, well, buddy, you're in luck because I'm doing this other show about the Broncos. And so I sent him the link, the podcast link and everything, and told him about it. So hopefully he's going to watch this or listen to this, and he can hear his shout out that he finally won. 21 years has been going on, and I think he's been in it ever since. And this is his first time winning. So
good for him.
That's
incredible odds right there.
It was awesome. So it's good. It's usually the usual suspects. It was like me and Scott Stafford and Colin and Snyder. And finally, we got some new blood in there. So good job, Vince.
Now, John, if I have to bring this trophy back and pass it around, I'm happy to do that.
No, it's yours.
Okay.
It's yours.
I don't want to bogart something that's like, oh no, Scott, you are truly the worst. You keep that for the rest of your life.
Well, I mean, technically, yes, I could give it to the worst in the Platinum League, but like So this is the thing. I always tell people, do not fuck. If you're out of it, do not play. Do not make ad drops. Yeah. Do not do this. And there's no reason to. But if there's a trophy to be had, I mean, I guess maybe if you want the trophy, you could just tank and be the worst, right? But maybe you don't want the trophy, so then you would try. And I don't want anyone trying because you're taking away from the people who are playing. Yeah. They're in the Legal Weed Melvin Bowl, Legal Weed Melvin Memorial Cup. Sorry. Someone who shall not be named that I think we'll see in Vegas, and I'm going to talk to him about it. He was like making ad drops, like he was way out of it, and I was like, whoa, and I was like, I got to try to win here. So please
don't be screwing up my chances.
Yeah. There's only like 4 people that are playing for the money, so let's chill out here a little bit. So no, but it's good stuff, and the fantasy season is a grind. It's great to be done with it. I always miss it, when it's done, but it's time to take a break. We're gonna revisit that in August, and so now it's time to just watch football.
I don't know how you guys do it, like how you and Marcel and all the rest of them, you guys are in like 5 leagues. I remember when I was in your league, I was in maybe yours and Marcel's and one other at one time. I could only do 3. I was terrible at all of them, except the one time I beat. Damn it! Why am I having a brain fart? Sports Illustrated. She writes for Sports.
You're thinking of Jen.
Yeah, the one time I beat Jen and took her out of the playoffs on a fluke. It was my greatest fantasy win ever. About somebody who knows 10 times more than I do. That
might have been the same. I was undefeated. I was like 11, 12 and 0, and you beat me. And I was like, God damn it. And then I fell flat in my face after that. So
sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while.
You got to take your wins while you can, right? Yep. So hey, are we going to do some of these spicy?
Yes. So I think the thought is we're going to talk about a topic for each part of the Chargers matchup, and so we'll start with the first one. I'm doing Davidson's hot sauce coffee date.
Coffee.
That's what I'm starting with. This is what was in the First We Feast Hot Ones box.
Okay, so now do I have to talk while you do it, or what's
we both take one?
Okay,
and then we're going to talk. The first topic we're going to talk about is Herbert sitting.
Okay. So I've got the Melinda's sampler. Melinda's makes really good hot sauce, and there was a nice sampler. Oh boy, he's going for it. And I got some for myself and my sons for their stockings. And this is a fire roasted jalapeno. This is not going to be a problem for me. I got a pretty good spoonful of it. How's yours?
This is actually very good. It's got a little bit of a sweet coffee taste, not too hot. Yeah, I would say it's like low on the Scoville scale.
Okay.
Maybe about 2,000.
All right, I'm going for mine.
Okay. Oh, dude, I think you took a bigger swallow than I did. That's what she said.
A little spicy on the back end. Well, it hit the back of my throat, and I was like, oh, okay. That's
I love how you say that on this show. You never know where I'm going to go with it.
All right. So first one down, no problem.
Okay, so first topic we're going to talk about is our good friend Justin Herbert, former Oregon quarterback, now sitting with Trey Lance starting. Jim Harbaugh dropped a bomb, going to let him sit, so they're going to potentially have to play the Patriots now, with the Broncos being the AFC #1 seed should they beat the terrible Chargers. What do you think about this?
I think that's great. I think it's great for the Broncos, but like I said, who knows if the coaches can outcoach Trey Lance? I have no idea. But this was a done deal a while back because somebody reported the opening line as like being 7.5.
Yeah, they weren't wrong.
Yeah, and so I think they knew this going in. They said there's no way they're going to put him, which would have been great because then I think it jumped to like 12.5 or something like that. So
do you think they're just admitting defeat at this point? Because it's like their O-line's terrible. They're injured up the wazoo. Like I feel like the Chargers, please, dear God, if you're at Mile High, please do not let the Broncos play like they did against the Chiefs. I just need like a 14-point win.
Well, I'm going to talk about that, but let's do another spoonful.
All right, what's the one you're doing now?
I'm doing the regular old Melinda's Scotch Bonnet, which is a very good hot sauce they make. It's delicious.
Okay, I'm doing the Hot Ones pickled garlic sriracha hot sauce. They rate this, I think, 4 out of 10. I don't.
Okay, mine's ready. Let's do them at the same time.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, that one's good. Thinner. Yeah,
this one's real tasty, and it didn't burn the back of my throat as much as the last one. It's hot. It's like perfect. Like Scotch Bonnet is perfect on eggs. Like you put it on some fucking eggs, man.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, it's so good.
Yeah, I'd put this on everything. I highly recommend Hot Ones sriracha hot sauce. That's the bottle. Go get it.
All right. So I got 2 left, and they're getting hot. They're going to get fucking hot as shit. So pick yourself a nice hot one for the next one. What I was going to say is the Chargers at Denver, it's now 12.5 points favorite, the Broncos, and the over-under is 37.5, which that seems very low, but I don't know. I mean, what was last week? What was it? Oh, it was only 37. So last week was only 37, right? So that crept on me a little bit. That had a little bit. It
sticking with you?
Yeah, stick with me a little bit. I just got this guy that one of the guys works for me. He's from Vietnam, and he just went back to Vietnam, and he got back the other day.
Yeah,
and he brought back, like, he left out some like Vietnamese candy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this one thing, it's weird. I should have showed it to you. It's like this weird red thing with like peanuts in it, mm-hmm. and you eat it. And the first thing is it tastes like Thai food or some sort of Southeast Asian dish. It mm-hmm. has like almost that flavor to it. Then the peanut flavor hits, and then it gets spicy. It's like a weird, like, multi-stage flavor thing in this one little piece of candy. It was very cool.
You know, that's the best thing about trying international food, especially if you don't know what you're eating and you have no idea what to expect. And then you're like, oh shit, I like it, or nope, never doing that again.
Yeah. Like you just go, oh, like first the texture of it, I went, oh God. And I was like, Jesus. And I was like, oh, wait, this is pretty good.
It's not so bad.
I got into it. So, all right. So that was that's the line. We're going to discuss that real quick, but let's do it. You got another one ready?
Oh, Jesus, you're going too fast for me. I want to talk about the fact that we got the throwbacks coming back.
Oh, what, this weekend?
Oh, yeah. The Broncos are 4-0 with the throwbacks, and they're doing this on purpose.
Well, sorry. I was going to tell you that back in week 16, you kind of called this game. I think you said something about, we could be looking at this Chargers game as being very important.
Yeah.
Now, yes, it is very important for the Broncos. It's not for the Chargers, so that's great. we're happy about that.
Yeah.
But the Broncos definitely need it if they want the number one seed.
I think it's the only way they survive the playoffs, in my opinion. They got to have home field advantage
to get the number one seed.
Yeah, I mean, the only way they make it to the Super Bowl, in my opinion, is if they have the number one seed, and everybody's got to come to us.
Well, it's just like when you play fantasy. If you get that first week bye, you only got to win twice. It's fantastic. So there's less room for error, right?
Yep.
So, no, I'm confident they can win, but are they going to dick around? Are they going to fucking do something stupid?
They can't now. They're playing their starters and they're playing the Chargers like second string in a lot of different areas. And they have the Chargers have no reason to show up for this game, in my opinion. They're not fighting for the West anymore. Well, so they're going to have to go on the road.
True. And they don't want to get hurt. They don't want anybody to get hurt. Right. So.
Yep. All right, John, oh, this is thick. This is not going to be good.
Well, this isn't going to be good for me because now I'm on the extra hot.
Okay, I'm doing John, I'm going to surprise you with the last one because I feel like I've gone weak on you. But this is the Hot Ones Tropical Amarillo. This is the sweet Scotch bonnet.
Okay.
This is
that Scotch bonnet, like it's stuck with me. Like the heat stuck with me a little bit. So
I hate thick hot sauces. This is not going to be good.
Okay. Well, I've got the extra hot going on here, and I don't even know what kind of pepper it is or whatever. So.
Okay, not bad.
Oh, you did it.
I did it. It's creeping.
All right, I'm gonna do mine.
Woo! little worse for wear on that one.
It's very flavorful. It tastes great. But that much of it was a little much. If I had done twice that amount, it might have been ugly. So great heat. And like I said, great flavor. I can't tell you what kind of pepper it is, but
this is good. This is good. It's hot. It's not too hot. It's like one of those where it's not hot enough that you wouldn't eat it. Does that make sense?
That is what?
It's not hot enough that you're like, I would never do this again. I would put this on food. It would be edible and okay, and I'd come back to it.
There's some that are inedible, and you're just like, it's not worth it. It's just so hot that it doesn't do anything. It's not augmenting what you're eating. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had the hottest food I've ever eaten, and I've eaten a lot of very hot food, was Indian food. And
Indian food's great.
But I think Indian food is the hottest food.
Oh, by far.
If you get it hot, if you say, make it hot, they will burn your white ass out. They will fucking.
Oh, I've done that. I'm a white guy who likes spice, and I've gone into an Indian restaurant and I go, make it hot. Don't make it white guy hot. I regretted it.
Honky hot. You say, hey,
honky hot.
Don't make it honky hot. Make it real hot. Yes. And like I've eaten Indian food so hot that like it was unpleasant, and I just was like suffering to get through it. And it really depends, because I'll say, oh yeah, make it hot. Generally, they'll take it easy on you, and they'll get you hot, but they won't get you like Indian hot. And that time they gave me Indian hot, and it was too much. So.
So before we get to the last one, John, because I've decided I'm substituting, because if we're going to go big, I'm going to go with the bomb.
Oh yeah, you got it.
This is supposed to be their hottest one.
Yeah.
So before we do that and we sign off, and I go either vomit or do whatever happens after this, so I don't make an ass of myself. What do you think the score is going to be this week?
So Vegas is pretty good about this, right? 12.5 is a pretty big number, but if the Broncos get up in it, they're going to pull their guys out too, right? I mean, they're not going to keep those guys in for the whole time. So over under 37.5. I could see the Chargers. I mean, again, Herbert's not going to play. Is Hampton going to play? Is fucking what's his name? I'm trying to think of their receiver, the young guy. Is he going to play? Like they could just pull all these guys out, but then it could just be a bloodbath, and it could just be a bunch of scoring. So
wait, but now before you give the prediction, I want to throw one other thing in here. Bo Nix has never beaten the Chargers.
Ooh, never.
Never beaten him. Well, he's only played him 3 times. This is the 4th. Does that alter the plans, Lord Vader?
It doesn't alter the plan. I'm trying to do some math here. Prepare your bomb. I've got ghost pepper wing sauce here that I've tried. I put in some stuff before, and
this is fucked.
This
is stuck at the top, so it's not pouring.
Oh, so it's all thick and nasty. I think the Broncos are going to cover that spread. I think they're going to win by at least 2 touchdowns. So it should be it could be higher scoring. So, if we want to say like a 13 to I don't know, what would be that? That would be 1, 2. Sorry, I'm doing math. If you have,
it's okay. While you're doing math, I'm trying to unstick this hot sauce. Which,
if you hadn't understood, I'm doing some math right now. I bet it's going to be about a 27-13 game.
27-13,
and that is exactly 14 points. So that covers that spread for sure. So. Yeah, I think it's going to be about a 27-13. I think the defense they're gonna play real hard, just to secure the win. The offense is going to do their thing to secure the win. And then once it's in the bag, they'll probably ease off, and then maybe the Chargers will get back into it a little bit.
You think we'll see some Jason Stidham action?
Hopefully, let's hope, right?
Yeah,
because if you do see him, then that means things are going well. But ideally, I think they win. I think that they then get the first seed, which is not good for us because then we can't watch them in Vegas. But I'd almost prefer that. You know what I mean?
But then we get to watch who we're going to be beating their ass off the next week.
That's right.
Okay,
are you getting your last one ready?
This is problematic, John, because this thing is so thick. I had to use a small screwdriver to get it out. So that means I got to lick this out of the teaspoon. And so before we sign off, John does the great job that he does. I have 2 recommendations for people who watch the show. I just finally finished Andor. Have you watched that?
Of course.
Oh, God, phenomenal. Best Star Wars of all time. And then my favorite podcast this year was The Rest is History. Huh?
I said Joe Rogan.
No, not Joe Rogan. The Rest is History. It's done by 2 British historians. It's phenomenal.
Okay.
If you like history, The Rest of History, they've got like 888 episodes, totally worth it. They're doing a series on Jack the Ripper right now, which is phenomenal.
I did watch. Oh, you're doing it? Oh, shit. I got to do mine now.
Oh, fuck. Oh, woo. Woo, boy.
Are you struggling?
It's about to get worse. I can tell. It's one of those that it hits first, and now it's like razor blades. Oh, fuck.
Mine's building a little bit too. Mine was a ghost pepper wing sauce, so it has a little bit less in it because it's a wing sauce. It can taste kind of more of what's supposed to be for wings. But that was a little tough. The one I did before, I think, was hotter.
Yeah,
a little hotter.
I'm bringing this bottle, John, and I expect everybody to have a little bit of this.
What bottle?
The bomb.
Oh,
the bomb
okay.
hot sauce. Oh, God.
Oh, I'll try that. Hell yeah, man. Pour me some of that. I was just gonna say, yeah, Andor's good. I thought it ended at one point, and I thought, God, that really, I like 2 episodes shy. I thought it ended, and I was like, that's kind of a bad ending. I was like, didn't really work. And then someone's like, oh no, there's 2 more episodes, and I was like, oh, okay, I got you. Are you
What's funny?
struggling?
No, it's getting bad. I thought the same thing. And then I was like, oh God, I thought it was over. And then there was like, oh no, there's another episode. And I thought it was great. The way it finishes, it really does pick up where Rogue One starts.
Absolutely.
And I think the only thing that throws me off of watching Rogue One now is the feel of Andor and how serious it is. And then you go into the Star Wars stuff and there's like Star Wars music, and Andor really didn't have any of that. You know, it didn't have the Star Wars vibe to it. And so anyways, it was a great show. Great show.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's really good. I just want to say it's almost New Year's Eve, and other than doing hot sauce shots, I have someone one of my hockey teams. Someone was like, "Hey, I'm having a party. Everyone should come to my party." And I was like, "Bro, I'm in my 50s. I haven't gone out for New Year's Eve in fucking 25 years, probably." And I was like, I'm not going to do that. And generally, it's just a night of Scrabble. I'll fucking pour some nice whiskey and I'll chill out. I don't know if you got anything different.
Carrie has this friend who runs a book club, and he does a New Year's Eve party. So that means you go early and you're done by 9 o'clock.
So you're watching at 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock.
So yeah, it's great, especially for old people like me who like you. I don't want to be out. I don't like people in mass amounts. Yeah. Whoo.
That's my jam too. So happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year's to you, John. And I'm glad we get to continue the show in the first season into the postseason. Hopefully we're celebrating a Super Bowl. And I think now's a good time to start the outro music, bro. Let's 6 minutes over.
Get out. You need to get out.
I got my ass in the jackpot.
Hey, your ass is in the jackpot. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in once again. We're almost there. We're almost to the playoffs. We'll know more next week, and hopefully we can report on it. And then we're going to report from Vegas when the time comes. So for me and the captain, this has been the Broncos Booze Up. Adios.